I didn't want to become an architect because Dad was an architect, and Dad was he's a very good teacher, but one who basically he knew the right answer. And if you thought that was wrong, then it showed that you were obviously stupid. So, so it's like,
Ah,
okay, I am not going to compete with Dad's architectural field in any way. Then, when I found the Stanford product design department, that was really the home for me as an undergraduate, being able to combine engineering, art, and design.
what would that have meant you were thinking your career path was?
Well, when I was at Stanford, I thought I was going to be a product designer where you can sit around thinking up cool solutions to problems. And then actually working at Hewlett Packard doing the packaging design for computer terminals in an incredibly supportive environment that really mentored me and supported me, and where I got to do much more in my early 20s than most people would be able to do. I decided it was boring and I wasn't sure what I wanted. That was the problem.
Yeah.
I was working at a well-paid job in Silicon Valley. I had all sorts of really interesting friends who were working at Apple and at Xerox PARC. Xerox PARC is where the Windows that we all use and the mice that we all use were invented. My best girlfriend in those days told me she was working on the very first Macintosh, but she couldn't tell me then because it was a secret project. The problem was that there was all of this stuff around me, and the only thing I could think of doing with my life was either staying an engineer or becoming a manager of engineers. It's like 21 or 22 or something like that, and said, like, this can't be all there is to life. There's got to be more. And so I decided to go to graduate school at MIT, and it really did provide me with all of these other opportunities and ways of doing things. And it's really funny because MIT actually has a very narrow focus. I mean, when friends of mine were starting the MIT Media Lab, I said, I want to become a media artist. Should I apply to do a PhD at the Media Lab? And I was literally told, if you want to do art, the Media Lab will not be the right place for you. We're going to be building tools, not art. And that's in general the MIT mentality. So strangely enough, in this place that really does have kind of a tunnel vision, I discovered some people who were teaching there in these parts of the architecture department that became the Media Lab, who had much broader horizons, who really blew open my horizons and made me realize that what I was suited for and what I was interested in was where all this comes together, where the art and the design and the technology all come together.